What's the status of the Charleston real estate market as we kick off 2025? If you're wondering what trends we are seeing right now when it comes to prices, inventory, migration patterns, home buyer and seller profiles, and more, then you are in the right place. Whether you want to buy, sell, or invest this year, or you just simply love Charleston or real estate, then stay right here for a Charleston, South Carolina market update. In this video, I'm recapping what we saw in 2024 in order to help inform what we may see in 2025. Now, I've already done a video with predictions for 2025, so if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and cue that up next. But this video is going to lay a great foundation for what I'm going to cover in that video, so stick around and watch this first, and then watch the predictions to follow. By the way, I'm Sarah Newman. I'm a realtor and team leader here of the Elevate team at eXp Realty, and we love helping people just like you with your buying and selling needs. So if we can be of service to you, we would love to have a conversation. All of our contact information is in the description and pinned in the comments. Okay, first I'm going to talk about some general trends with population as well as buyers and sellers across the country. Then I'm going to get into Charleston specific data with prices and more transaction information. So first up, South Carolina continues to be a top state for net positive population growth. Move over Texas because South Carolina is growing. Jumping 3 spots from 2023, South Carolina pushed Texas out of the #1 spot on U-Haul's growth state list. The growth rankings are configured by each state's net gain or loss of customers utilizing one-way U-Haul equipment in a calendar year. So based on one-way moves last year, South Carolina had the largest net gain of people using U-Haul to move. The top 5 are South Carolina, Texas, North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. Can you guess which state came in last? Cue the Jeopardy music. If you guessed California, then you would be right. California experienced the greatest net loss and actually ranked 50th for the 5th year in a row. Sorry, California. Similarly, United Van Lines, which provides long-distance moving services for personal, corporate, and military relocations, released its National Mover Study, which shows that South Carolina had 62% inbound moves last year. In this study, South Carolina ranked 3rd for 2024, but has been included in the top inbound states over the last 5 years. A majority of new residents were in the 55 to 62 age group, followed closely by 65 and older. The study also revealed that 27% of people were moving to the Palmetto State to retire, while 18% were seeking a lifestyle change. It also shows that 8% moved to South Carolina for improved cost of living. Now, for a lot of people, they believe that South Carolina, especially places like Charleston, are not cheap to live, and they would be correct. But if you're coming from somewhere like California, for example, then relative to a lot of places in California, it actually is cheaper cost of living here in South Carolina. If you're wondering what states are adding the highest net number of people to South Carolina, then we can look at this study by Smart Asset that shows the top 5 feeder states last year, which were New York, North Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and California. So all of these different studies are showing that out of everywhere in the entire country, South Carolina is experiencing one of the biggest, if not the biggest, net gains in population. Now, this is across the entire state, and there are other places in the state that are also growing rapidly besides Charleston, such as Myrtle Beach and Greenville, but we are definitely getting our fair share here in Charleston. Next, I want to share some findings with you that come from the National Association of Realtors annual report about home buyers and sellers. Now, again, this is across the entire country, but I think it gives us some interesting input as to what's going on in the greater real estate market. First of all, the average age of home buyers is now 59, which is a new high and up from 49 years old just the year before in 2023. Meanwhile, the average age of first-time home buyers is 38, up from 35 the year before, which is also the oldest age of first-time home buyers that we've seen. The average age of repeat buyers is 61, up from 58 from the year before. The report also reveals that first-time home buyers only make up 24% of the market, which is a record low and down from 32% the year before. This makes sense given the huge increase in the cost of housing over recent years. These first-time buyers earned an average of $97,000 per year, up from $95,000 the year before, and quite dramatically up from 2021 when the average first-time buyer was earning $71,000 per year. Out of all of the buyers in 2024, 26% paid in all cash, which is also an all-time high. Now flipping over to sellers, the average age of a seller in 2024 was 63, which is also an all-time high. Are you noticing the trend here of ages being at an all-time high, whether buyer, seller, first-time buyer? And then of all of the homes sold on the market last year, 77% of them did not have children under the age of 18 residing in the home. That's really a huge number, and this reveals to me that baby boomers who are downsizing, retiring, and relocating are really driving so many of the market dynamics that we are seeing, not just here in Charleston, but also nationwide. All right, now I want to hone in more specifically on the Charleston market. Overall, 2024 was a very similar year to 2023. In terms of the total number of transactions, 2024 was up 1.1% versus 2023 to just over 16,000 transactions. While 1.1% may not seem like much, there were definitely some specific areas of our MLS that way outperformed year over year. Here are the top three. Number one is Awanda, coming in at 70.5% year over year. Now, the total number of homes sold there was only 104, so it's not a huge amount, but the reason the year over year growth was so much is because they've really put a lot of restrictions into Awanda to prevent growth from surging, and there were some projects that had been in the works for years that were finally able to come to market and get sold. So I think that's what's accounting for the increase there, is a good amount of luxury and new construction homes that finally got to sell in 2024. I have a whole video on Awanda if you want to watch that and learn more about this growing area. The second area that outperformed year over year was Kiowa at 31.5%. Kiowa is also a luxury area. It's a beautiful resort style island. Again, I have a video about all of the beaches and islands here in the Charleston area that you can also check out if you want to learn more. On Kiowa, there were only 142 total sales in 2024. Finally, coming in at number 3, we have Hanahan at 18.3% growth year over year and 271 total homes sold. Hanahan is one of the most affordable suburbs that we have here in Charleston, so it's nice to see this rounding out the list. There was some new construction in Hanahan that sold in 2024, quite a few townhomes that could partially explain for the increase in Hanahan. And it could be, again, that it is based on pricing, since it is an affordable place to live, that more people are wanting to move there. Now, I just shared a minute ago how 2024 was up 1.1% year over year, but it's interesting to look at what happened in December. So I'm recording this in January, so I don't have all of January's data yet. But December of 2024 was actually a good month. It was up 15.8% versus December of 2023, which is a lot. And December of 24 was up 5.7% compared to November of 2024, so month over month, which is just really interesting to note. Usually December is the slowest time of year, after Thanksgiving, moving into Christmas. Most people aren't wanting to buy or sell in that time frame unless they absolutely have to. So I'm really curious to continue tracking this and see what happens in January, and if the number of transactions continues to tick up as we move on into 2025. I also want to note that new construction in 2024 made up about 30% of all of the sales in our entire MLS, which covers a huge area. So a lot of our inventory is coming from builders, which I believe we are fortunate to have here in our area. Really opens up possibilities for buyers, especially when inventory is so constrained on the resale market. And because builders often offer such great incentives, you can really find some pretty great deals as a buyer going a new construction route. Our team loves new construction. It's definitely an area that we focus on and specialize in. So please reach out to us if we can help you with anything related to your new construction home search. You can actually find a list of all of the new construction homes that's updated every few minutes. If you go into the description, you'll see the link there to get that list. And I also have a bunch of videos all about new construction, different neighborhoods in the area, as well as what to expect when you buy new construction, because it's a very different process than a resale transaction. And I've had people tell me that that video specifically is very helpful. So if you would like to learn more about what it's like to purchase a brand new home, then definitely make sure that video is on your watch list. Next, I want to get into the median sales prices. I know this is, of course, what most people really want to know. So overall, 2024 was up 3.5% over 2023 as far as the median priced home in our area. The median sales price is now $428,500. This is across all types of homes, so it includes single-family homes, townhomes, condos, mobile homes. Everything is lumped into that number. If you want to isolate just single-family detached homes, then the median goes up to $454,000. Now, while the median sales price was up 3.5% overall, that's taking the entire MLS into account. There were significant areas that way outperformed that number. Here are some of them that are up over 10% year over year, which again is a really big number. We have West Ashley inside 526 at 12.4% with a median sales price of $545,000. James Island was up 17% with a median sales price of $620,000. Alwendaw/McClellanville was up 17.4% with the median price of $747,495. Next, we have Mount Pleasant, which we break up into North and South. So North Mount Pleasant was up 10.2% with a median sales price of $854,000. And South Mount Pleasant was up 12.6% with the median sales price of $885,000. Next, downtown Charleston outside the crosstown was up 15.9% with a median sales price of $851,500. Folly Beach at 21.3% and a median sales price of $950,000. Seabrook Island was up 16.3%, bringing their median price to $967,500. Next, you have Wadmalaw Island at 58.1% and their sales price getting up to $1.125 million. Getting back into downtown, we have downtown Charleston inside the crosstown at 20.6% and a median sales price of $1.2 million. Next is Edisto Beach, which overall was up 38% to a median sales price of $812,500, with Edisto Island specifically at 37.5% increase and a median sales price of $1.46 million. If you notice, I'm going in order of increasing median sales prices. So next we have Daniel Island at 18.5% up year over year with a $1.6 million median sales price. Then Kiowa Island with 14.2% increase in price year over year with a $1,672,500 median sales price. And then finally, Sullivan's Island with a 20.8% increase in price, bringing their median sales price to $4.59 million. So all of those numbers are pretty crazy to see, right? That's just the growth in 1 year from 2023 to 2024. So you may be wondering, well, a lot of those places definitely drug the median up. So what areas underperformed to make the total only 3.5% when you aggregate all the data together? So there were really 4 significant areas that underperformed in terms of median sales price. Those 4 are west of the Ashley beyond Randhouse Creek, which was down 7.9% with a median sales price of $552,500. Isle of Palms was actually down 7.7%, and their median is now $1.95 million. Next, you have Wando and Kanehoy, which was down 6.9% to $614,514. Now, the year before, it was the fastest appreciating area in the MLS, so I feel like that's just balancing out a bit. They also had a pause on some of their new construction homes for environmental reasons that they are working out and now moving forward. So those homes are definitely going to bring that median sales price up, but they didn't get to close any of those last year. So I would again expect to see that specific area of Wando and Kanehoy going up again in 2025. Finally, the very rural areas of Cross, St. Stephen, Bono, and rural Berkeley City was down 19.2% with a median sales price of $361,250. So if you live somewhere or are looking at areas to buy that I did not mention today, it's because they had a change that was less than 5% in 2024, so it wasn't really significant compared to these other numbers. Quite a few areas were up somewhere between 2 and 4%, including Johns Island, North Charleston, and Somerville. Well, that wraps up today's video. If you got value from this, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first one to know about all things Charleston. And be sure to hit the bell for notifications so that you can get notified when new videos come out. We also send a free weekly newsletter every Thursday that is your insider's guide to all things Charleston with an events calendar, tons of updates about what's going on in the local market, as well as links to videos just like this so they can get delivered right to your inbox. Our clients love this newsletter and say that they look forward to getting it every single Thursday. And again, it's free to you. The link to join is in the description. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.